Hey guys, it's Reverend Sean with the Center Path, and today we're going to go over one of these things. Oh my gosh, cardiophobia. Cardiophobia, that means being afraid of your heart is really what it means. This is a heart. This is not my heart. Well, my heart's a little bigger than this one, actually. This is about the right size of a normal heart, if you were. And about a year and a half ago, I had a couple things called stents put inside here. And since then, I've been dealing with something, which is right here, called cardiophobia. And I'm going to explain a little bit about how mindfulness can be used with cardiophobia. Now, I had a big problem with this for months and months. And when I went to the cardiologist and told him, hey man, this is mostly a game up here. It's not really in my heart, I don't think, because my numbers are looking good. My blood pressure was under control. My pulse rate was good. My pulse ox was great. My LDLs and HDLs and all of the numbers in the blood were doing quite well, although I do have and have been diagnosed with something called heart failure. And that was a big, it almost echoed when they said that. The cardiologist, she said, you have heart failure. And I swear it was like, heart failure. You know, it was like this big thing. And I have PVCs, which are preventricular contractions, so this thing does not keep good time. And I can feel some of those. But one of the things that happens is, as you feel what's going on with your heart, your body mind, and that we're talking about the vagus nerve here, so this is one of those vagus nerve things. The polyvagal techniques is one of the things I actually use, which does help, is to the vagus nerve is talking from your heart to your brain, and it's saying that something is not right, and your brain's picking that up. And your brain is having to say like, it sends a little bit of like anxiety out there, increases the cortisol and some of those other chemicals and the epinephrine and norepinephrine and these kind of guys. And you begin to feel anxious. Okay. And that anxiety can bleed over into everything. And I was going through that and it would wax and wane, right? Which means comes and goes, like the moon turns to full and disappears, whatever it is, right? It waxes and wanes. So what happens is you end up extra gears are going, thinking about what's going on in your chest. If you feel a cramp or you feel a rib go out of place or you feel a flutter or heat or whatever it was, I had many different symptoms that I would pay attention to, right? And one of the things is speaking with your cardiologist is a great idea, although they, remember, are super focused on some numbers and some things and the structure and the function of the heart very, very specifically. And they're not wanting to get into things like nutrition, which I'll talk about at a different time. They're not wanting to talk about things like diet. You have to go to a different specialist for those kind of things. And I have a whole nother video on that too. There's and also you would have problems with talking to them, anything to do with up here, because I told one of the cardiologists, hey man, I'm having problems up here, what's your advice? And they just turned to me and said, go to a therapist. And I didn't want to go to a therapist because that's a whole other shebang and deal to do. I mean, therapy can be really good, but I was like, I should know this stuff. I should be able to handle it myself. That's what I was thinking. Now, I did end up talking to therapists about it, and that did indeed help, so I do suggest that for you. Speak to your cardiologist if you got one. If you don't got one, get one. They're actually pretty cool. It's good to have around, especially if you have a heart issue, right? So one of the things that I started doing was also noticing when I would feel something and not going like, uh-oh, catching myself right before the uh-oh, and really getting it to like sensation in my chest. Take a breath. What is that sensation? Evaluate. Is it pain? Is it all of those symptoms that they have when you first go in and they ask, are you getting pressure in your chest? Are you having shortness of breath, sweating? Are you getting pain that's going into the left jaw? Are you having indigestion feel all the time? Are you having chest pain, pressure, something sitting on your chest, impending sense of doom? All of these different symptoms, which are very, very, very common, so common that they ask them in succession when you go in and talk about a heart issue, but I didn't have any of them. I never had any of them. I would think I had some of them because I would be like, uh-oh, I did push-ups one day and strained my chest. I had pain on both sides. Didn't realize that I was like focusing on the left side. So you have to like catch it first. That's the first part of mental work, is mindfulness, is catching it. And that's why we do the breathing techniques, right? Breathing in, counting 1, 2, 3, holding 1, 2, 3, breathing out 2, 3, then holding again. That's called box breathing. And that worked out pretty good. I hated it because I'd run out of breath after a few times. So I do rectangular breathing, which is breathing in for the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, holding for 2, 3, 1, or 1, 2, whatever, and then breathing out for 1, 2, 3, and holding again for 1, 2. So it's rather than 4, 4, 4, or 3, 3, 3, whatever, I do breathing in for 4, holding for 2, breathing out for 4, holding for 2, or something like that. You got to find your number. There's no right number or wrong number. I mean, you can go all over the place with that thing. You can also do like a more of a rounded breathing with that rather than hold, or only hold at the top, right? So those things can get you to begin to focus on breathing and be able to, because you can control your breath, right? You can hold your breath. You can breathe further, you can breathe in more, you can do all these things with your breath. That's going to give you a chance to actually change your physiology. I am able now to reduce my blood pressure by at least 10 points just with breathing techniques. I can take it right now and get 130/85 or something like that, and then do breathing techniques for literally 15, 20, 30 seconds, and it'll drop down to 116/70 or something. It's very, very common to be able to do that. If you can get your mind out of your chest or out of that process of freaking out, right? Doing the breathing techniques. Other breathing techniques is that physiological sniff, which you guys have heard of, sigh, which you've heard of, which is breathing in, and at the end of it, and then breathing out really long. Breathing in and breathing out. So those two techniques, so either box breathing or cyclical breathing, or the breathing in with a little gasp at the top and then long breath out, really do help with that cardiophobia. So try that if you have it. If you do have it, let me know in the comments. Go over here. There's more videos on other stuff, mostly related to Buddhist stuff, because I'm trying to put that into daily life and use it for myself and for you. And over here is should be another video. And all I want to do is get you guys some information that can help. And if you have cardiophobia, let me know. I'd love to hear more about it and what you do to help yourself with it, because it is a thing and it is not to be trifled with. So you're not alone. That's the first thing I can say. That's the other thing that helped me, is realize that other people had it too. So you're not alone. I get it too. I've meditated for over 30 years now. I've been a minister, a priest for 20 years this June, and you'd think I'd have a complete dialed in on everything, but I don't, and most people don't, and I am too subject to physiology. So let me know. Don't forget to go, like I said, new video here, right here, right over there somewhere is going to be subscribe. Talk to you later. This is Reverend Sean, Center Path.